Hey Yashvi, how's it going? Thanks for reaching out to me. I have done my analysis on your birth chart. Let me first quickly state your birth details. They are 3rd of December, the year is 1992, 9:50 p.m. in Bangalore, South Karnataka, India. Now, based on your details, this is your birth chart. I'm going to start my analysis from the 7th house because this is the house of relationships and marriage. And in your case, the 7th house happens to be in the 10th zodiac sign, the sign of Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn. Since the lord of the house of marriage in your case happens to be Saturn, the kind of spouse you're going to attract is going to be very Saturn like. So the spouse is going to be mature, very loyal, very committed. When I use the term mature, I want to point out to you that it is possible you might end up attracting a spouse who's of a similar age group or even in fact elder to you. And since that age is going to be similar to you, you will get a sense of loyalty, commitment, and the spouse is going to be very responsible. In fact, so much so, you would find the spouse treating marriage like duty. Just like we treat our careers and jobs with, we are duty bound. We feel that, hey, it is our responsibility. We have to fulfill it, whether we like it or not. So the spouse will also have that same mindset. So very Saturn-like spouse, very mature and responsible spouse, very loyal and committed spouse. Now if we study where Saturn is placed in the D9 chart, the Navamsha chart, I find Saturn sitting in the 8th house. This is an indication that the spouse is going to be a person who's going to bring small changes, or in fact it's a good thing. In my opinion, if there are sudden changes in your life, your spouse's support is going to help you go through those changes gradually. So if there is a sudden event, for example, you have been asked by your organization to leave, or you have been asked by your organization to change cities, etc., or there is a health issue, sudden health issue, something of that kind, you would find your spouse's presence there, and she would help you gradually go through whatever sudden things you are going through in life. So that's one way of looking at this combination, which is a good sign that the spouse is present and is actually going to be lucky for you to go through those sudden changes in life, life altering changes, slowly and gradually. Now, Saturn in the 8th house could give the spouse a profession in the field of research. Saturn in the sign of Gemini in the D9 chart is an indication that the spouse will be very careful with her words. She would always be one of those people who will sound very mature. Whenever she will say things, you will always feel that, she's saying things out of her research, out of her experience. She's saying things as a very responsible human being. So she is going to be that kind of a person. Now, if we study where Saturn is placed, Saturn is also sitting in the 7th house in the main birth chart, which is telling me quite strongly that your married life is going to be extremely stable. Now, Saturn will cause all those things that I've mentioned so far, but the most important conclusion and the key takeaway from this analysis is that since Saturn is a very slow moving planet, possibility of marriage in your early to mid 20s was very low. Saturn will always cause some delay in the process of marriage because of its rulership of the house of marriage and because of its presence on the house of marriage. For those reasons, you need to accept the fact that it is part of your destiny to get married late. Now, I'll talk about those timelines a bit later. Let's now discuss another method. Let's try to find more clues about the spouse you're going to attract. Now we are going to identify the planet in your birth chart which is holding the lowest degree, and that in your case happens to be Venus. So the spouse here is also going to be very Venus-like, is going to be someone who could be attractive, could be someone who carries an attractive personality, someone who's very diplomatic, could actually be in the field of law, because in the field of law, that skill of choosing your words wisely is very applicable. And I see Venus sitting in the same sign, the sign of Capricorn in the 3rd house. So she could possibly be working in the field of law. That's a very sort of strong conclusion that I can draw out for you. But in general, she will be someone, whenever she will speak, she is going to say things in a very thoughtful manner, in a very mature manner. So if you happen to meet someone who is giving you that impression, then you will know that is the right person for you. Now, Venus is also bringing the energy of the 4th and the 11th house in your 7th house. Venus is the lord of the 4th house. As you can see, if you click the button here, Lords, you will see two numbers appearing next to it. The 4th and the 11th house in your birth chart are also controlled by Venus. The fourth house is more to do with comforts at home, your personal life, your home life. So everything about your home, the furniture, vehicles, etc., that is making your life comfortable is seen from the fourth, whereas the 11th house is the house of income, wealth. So here it could be, gains in property, gains through, real estate after marriage. That is very possible. Or in general, you can think about that the spouse is going to be lucky for you from a money point of view, and at the same time, I believe the spouse is going to be very responsible with money. So that's that. So for that reason, I think she could also be in the money related business, maybe on the field of accountancy, because she will be someone who will manage money in a very organized way, because Venus is inherently the planet of money, and the sign of Capricorn is putting some restrictions on money. So this can give her a career in the field of accountancy or something of that kind. Now Venus is Virgotham. Venus is sitting in the same sign, not only in the main but also in the Navamsha, which is an indication that married life is going to be extremely stable. So this is all that I could see in your birth chart. I also want to discuss the presence of Jupiter in the seventh house in the D9 chart. So here what I see developing in your married life, that whatever you do on a day-to-day basis, whatever you are learning through your through your travel, through your work, or through some institute of higher learning, whatever you have learned, that'll become part of knowledge sharing will become part of your married life. So it could be the case that the spouse is lucky for you and you run into people who are educating you or guiding you in the right direction, or it's a case where after marriage you run into a lot of people who guide you in the right direction. You find you are learning from others, the right kind of teachers come to you, and after marriage your fortunes are sort of changing, you're finding the right guidance, mentorship, etc., etc. That may happen. It may also be the case that the spouse is playing that role of guidance and mentorship, but it could also be the case that you're just finding yourself in better with better mentors, better guides, better people, better colleagues, better bosses, better clients, etc., after marriage. So that is what this combination is overall suggesting. Now, when in the future do I see you getting married? Now, before I go there, I've already pointed out to you that Saturn is in the house of marriage, so late marriage was always going to be there. Moreover, Mars is also having an aspect on the house of marriage. This is an indication that you need to match horoscopes. Matching of horoscopes is essential in your case. Late marriage and matching of horoscopes are two prerequisites before you start your personal life. Now, when in the future, let's talk about that now. Let me be very frank, let me give you the exact answer. Between 29th of October 2022 to 1st of April 2023 is the time destined for you for marriage. That is right about the time when you will be turning 30. You'll be starting a new page in your life. Because the first 30 years, it is the phase where Saturn hasn't returned to its original position. After the age of 30, as soon as we turn 30, rather, Saturn returns to its original position, so that karmic phase is behind you. So it's a case where I believe, you will find Saturn's influence reducing, and at that stage, Saturn is going to create the possibility of marriage. Why do I see marriage as a high possibility during the time frame that I've mentioned? Because at that time you will be under the Mahadasha of Mercury, but Mercury is a constant. Mercury's Mahadasha is going to go on in your life for the next 10 years, and it has been going on for the last 5 years, so that is a constant. But the Antadasha of Rahu's main objective in our lives is to create a new experience for us. So what better experience than marriage? So that's the one thing going for you is Rahu's Antadasha would be going on. And secondly, within this Rahu's Antadasha, Venus's phase is also going to be going on. Venus in your birth chart is the Darakarak, it's holding the lowest degree. Venus in the Navamsha chart is the Lord of the 7th house. Venus is the natural signifactor of a wife in a man's chart. Venus is the natural signifactor of marriage. For all those reasons, marriage is promised within this, within this window. So that's my prediction for you from a marriage point of view. So yes, right now you're under this Mahadasha of Mercury, and the Antadasha is of Moon. I don't see a very high promise of marriage within this frame. Then it'll be the phase of Mars. Mars directly is only having one connection with the house of marriage, and that is Mars is just having an aspect. It does make you partial Manglik, so matching of horoscope needs to be done, but Mars itself is not very powerful. But I believe, looking at your birth chart, marriage closer to the age of 30 is better. So Mars's phase is going to be a phase where you still haven't turned 30, so I believe promise of marriage is only possible during this Rahu's phase. So that's that. I think this is how you should approach your life going forward. Respect the timelines, accept what is the sort of destiny has for you. So if there is a bit of acceptance to these timelines, then you will find some peace of mind and you can plan your life accordingly and focus on other aspects of life till the time of marriage starts. Now, your question, the natural question for me now would be, hey, when can you start a relationship or be in a relationship? I think after 9th of March 2021, when you enter this Rahu's Antadasha, this is the time where I believe you'll end up meeting someone interesting, which could result in marriage at the time that I've mentioned at the end of 2022. So that is it. This is my analysis. Let me know if you have some follow-up questions. Thanks for watching. Bye.